The mass burning of agricultural stubble in Punjab, a major cause of air pollution across the Indo-Gangetic Delta and particularly the National Capital Region, is a source of annual debate. It's one that I've tracked for so many years, nothing seems to change. Now, state governments say that their fire counts are down and they're not generating as much air pollution as they used to, but a new study which backs an independent report NDTV did last year clearly indicates that there is a severe undercount of farm fires in states such as Punjab and Haryana, perhaps other states as well. Why? Because farmers are burning their stubble when no satellite is looking. Let me explain. Now, according to the International Forum for Environment, Sustainability and Technology, or iFOREST, farm fires are not being detected because satellite detection is just not available at the time. Now, let me explain this to you. Now, the National Farm Fire Monitoring System in India, run by the Indian Agricultural Research Institution, relies on sensors which no longer properly measure farm fires. The system is built around NASA's moderate resolution imaging spectrometer, spectroradiometer, in fact, MODIS, which is actually deployed on the Aqua and the Terra satellites. These are satellites which are operated by NASA. And these are, in fact, the data from this comes across the world. It's available on NASA Worldview. This is what the government of India actually relies on. So it's the Terra and Aqua satellites. That's one source. Now, India's farm fire measuring system also relies on another satellite. Let's go to the next page. The Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suite, or VIRS. That's on this satellite, the Xiaomi NPP. Now, if you look at what these detect, this is what it actually looks like on the NASA Worldview app. The red dots that you'll see over here represent farm fires. On the 25th of November, when it was particularly bad, this is actually what the state of Punjab looked like according to the sensors which I just described. But what the new report shows, and what we've also been able to prove through our own reports a year back, is that this, as many fires as you can see over here, is actually a severe undercount of the actual number of fires which exist. Now, let me explain this to you. Based on the new report, the data collected by these sensors shows only a fraction of the actual number of farm fires. The MODIS and VIRS sensors that I spoke about on those satellites capture active farm fires from space only during a narrow time window, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., all right? And the MODI-VIRS data indicates that active farm fires or counts in 2025 have reduced by 92% in Punjab and 90% in Haryana from their respective peaks in 2021. Now, that's what they say. The number of farm fires, based on what we've seen on those sensors, on those satellites, shows that it's actually come down. But is that the truth? Not really. The SEVERI sensors on two other satellites, the Meteosat 8 and Meteosat 9, this is one of the Meteosat satellites, provide images every 15 minutes. And data from these two satellites shows that the majority of large farm fires occur after 3 p.m., beyond the overpass times of polar satellites, the earlier ones that I had referred to. By contrast, in 2021, only 3% of large farm fires occurred after this time. Now, in Haryana, most large farm fires have taken place after 3 p.m. since 2019, right? Therefore, the MODIS and VIRS data, that's the older sensors and the older satellites I spoke about, these ones, that has been underestimating fires in Haryana for several years. Therefore, in summary, and quoting from the report, fires missed by polar satellite sensors, that's what we use now, lead to underestimated emissions, mischaracterized aerosol and particulate matter loads, and incorrect simulations of air quality dynamics across India. For example, the contribution of stubble burning to Delhi's air pollution was highly underestimated this year because MODIS and VIRS, those are the sensors on the satellites that the government of India uses, once again, those captured only a small fraction of active fire counts. So that's what the worry is. Well, I'm joined now by Mr. Chandrabhushan. He is one of the authors of this report, and iFOREST is what he runs. Thank you very much for coming out with this data. It's just shocking that it's taken such a long period of time for people to realize that the sensors we have are basically inadequate. How difficult was it for the system to understand earlier that, look, the data we have is a severe undercount because the pollution we are seeing and the aerosol loading is incredibly large? I think you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on your show. Vishnu, for the past couple of years, it became quite clear to us, in fact, our geoinformatics team, which tracks all these things, that the mere counting of farm fire, active farm fire itself is an inadequate indicator. You need to actually know how much is burning rather than how many farm fires are there. So there are many inadequacies in our current monitoring system. One, the polar satellite, which is only looking for 3 hours, and therefore for 21 hours we don't have eyes on the ground. Whatever happens for 21 hours in a day, we don't know, because the polar satellite MODIS and VIIRS, which you mentioned, is only looking between 10:30 and 1:30 p.m. That was one inadequacy. Second, the number of farm fire is not a good indicator. You could have thousands of small farm fire, but you could also have few very large farm fire, which is burning large area. So the second inadequacy was the number of farm fire. And therefore, what we did was, apart from estimating how much farm fire was happening post 3 p.m., we also estimated burnt area. How much area was being burnt in Punjab and Haryana. And that is a positive story, Vishnu, because there is reduction in burnt area in Punjab by about 35% since the peak of about 2021. In 2021, Punjab was burning 31,000 square kilometer area. I'm just giving this number. Think about the extent of farm fire. 31,000 square kilometer was burnt in 2021. This year it is about 20,000 square kilometer. So the number have reduced, but it is still a massive number as far as burning is concerned. And it has huge impact on the air quality in the Indo-Gangetic plain. Haryana is a different story. We found that, as you rightly said, that since 2019, most of the large farm fires in Haryana was happening post 3 p.m. So we have been underestimating farm fire, stubble burning in Haryana significantly for the past couple of years.
Now, with these sensors clearly inadequate, and even we did a report last year showing farm fires using satellite imagery post 3 p.m. in areas before 3 p.m. where there were no fires. We found any number of farm fires to the northeast of Amritsar on the worst day of the year using Maxar satellite imagery. This is not profound science or an understanding. This is common sense. Why does India continue to believe that we have the data when clearly we don't? It seems like a conspiracy of silence.
It has baffled me, and I have publicly stated that why, first of all, we chose number of active farm fire as an indicator. As you rightly said, it is common sense that number of fire is not a good indicator for judging how much stubble has burnt. That is number one. Number two, again, relying only on polar satellite, which has an overpass once in a day or twice in a day, to estimate how much farm fire is happening again, was never a good science. We should have, first of all, India is an emerging economy. We are a $4 trillion economy. We should have our own satellite.
Exactly.
There's no reason why we should be depending on NASA and European satellite to measure fire in our country. But that is besides the point. The point is that apart from polar satellite, we should have been taking data from geostationary satellite. SIVRI is a geostationary satellite. INSAT is a geostationary satellite. ISRO should have put in a fire product in satellite. So, I think there's a lot of things that has gone wrong so far, but there's a lot of things that can go right from next year if we want to do it.
Bhushan,
And
are
we
you
have
going to
very clear
appeal?
recommendations.
Are you going to go to the Supreme Court, which is monitoring this as they have for a long period of time, and say this is just common sense? Why are you believing data when in fact that data doesn't exist? On the basis of this, you've actually brought out facts. The government of India uses data from satellites which do not show the true story. If you use different satellites, you will find out the area which is burnt and you'll get a more reliable fix on farm fires, which perhaps accounts for the aerosol loading in the atmosphere. You don't even need to do that. If you travel to Punjab after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, on the worst days of the year, you'll see it in front of you. Is this rocket science to know that the data is all wrong? Or is it because there is a recognition at political levels, and I know you're not a politician, it's not a political question per se, that they just don't want to fix something because there is no value to life? And that this will go away in a few weeks and it'll all be forgotten.
Well, Vishnu, as you rightly said, it is common sense. It is not rocket science. As a public institution, it is our job to put out information. It is our job to put out information so that people can assess that information, can critique that information. That is, as a public institution, that is what we do. Our hope is that the same will be done by IARI and Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, which runs the decision support system, which is estimating what is the contribution of stubble burning to Delhi's pollution. Those methodologies are not publicly out. It is not only about government. It is also about scientific institutions. CREAM should put out, IARI should put out the methodology through which it is calculating farm fire number, as we have done. Or Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology should put out all the algorithm it has for estimating pollution load. Now, these are the kind of things we need in an open society, at least open scientific society.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the fact that it's missing and we continue to suffer as a result of this horrific air pollution, particularly at this time of the year, it's just so very sad. But thanks, Mr. Chandrabhushan, for coming out with that data and laying it threadbare for people across the country.